What's going on, guys? It's me, Fan 2016 here, and today we have massive unboxing number 12 for you guys. I hope you guys are excited for today's video. Super excited to be back with another massive unboxing. We got some models that I'm excited to unbox, and some great varieties as well. So, super excited. So without being said, let's get started. So as you can see, got two boxes right here. These came from West Coast Diecast, and I think I may have ordered them somewhere around I would say during the beginning of this year, 2024. So really excited to unbox them. I think it's been a while. I think they've been sitting in my shelf for I don't know, maybe a couple of years or so. But on that, just super excited to unbox them. And yeah, they're basically the same boxes. These all came from West Coast, so I'm gonna have to unbox one of them. Here, I'll actually unbox both of them, and we're gonna see which models are inside these two boxes. So I think I want to start off with this box first. So without being said, yeah, I think this was the first one. I'm not sure which came first, but we're gonna unbox one of them. So without being said, let's get into the unboxing. Okay, so we're gonna start off with this box. Not sure which one came first, to be honest, but I think this one came first from what I'm understanding. So let's unbox this. Now, this video will be separated into sections because I got a couple of more orders that I do want to order for this unboxing. So this isn't the first, this is not, what am I saying? Oh yeah, this is not all the models that I ordered, so for this mass unboxing. So yeah, gonna unbox them. Man, they packed this thing, they packed it really tight here, so not sure if I can do my best to open them, but we'll just have to see. But I think I know what to do. So alright, come on. Maybe I had to cut a couple of more. Ooh. But yeah, they did pack this thing really good. I think I'm missing some spots from... Maybe I might be missing some spots. So yeah, it's gonna give me a few moments, guys. I gotta make sure I cut everything. Ooh. Alright, let me try ripping it out like that. Not my best strategy, but it gets the job done. Ooh, alright. Okay, so we got that unboxed. So, as I take out all these, folds. Okay, this is the first one. There we go. So, this was the first one I received. Got my invoice right there. Not gonna show everything. But, inside, we have two exciting models right here. Ooh, yes. Alright, here we go. Alright, let me just take out these bubble wrap. Okay, okay, I think I do want to cut the bubble wrap just to make sure. Alright, come on. Alright. Okay, just gotta cut a few pieces of the bubble wrap right there. And we're gonna take a look at our first model as I get her out. And it's gonna be this beauty right here. So we're gonna start things off with the NG models 1/400 scale American Airlines Boeing 737-800 with the regular winglets. I've been wanting to have this model for a long time, and it's one of the older releases. This is a 2022 iteration. And yeah, I'm just super excited to finally have her. But not only that, but I also got an older release right here, which is the NG models 1/400 scale Delta Airlines Boeing 737-800 in the SkyTeam livery. Super excited to have my first SkyTeam model plane in my collection. And overall, I think it should look very nice. So, those are the two models right there. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this box. So this was the first box from West Coast, and of course I got their business card right there. So, thank you, Dan, for that. And yeah, that's basically it for this box. So, just gonna set this aside. And yeah, so we have all my two models right here. Just gonna set them aside. And while we're here, I'm also gonna be unboxing the second one. So give me a moment, guys. Alright, so here's the second box right here. So we're gonna unbox this one. So this came in second, so we're gonna do that. Alright, so we're just gonna and I think this is much more easier since it's the typical box I would usually cut. So we're gonna take care of that. And that should be it for the boxes right here for West Coast. And as I take all these packing paper out, of course, got everything. Got my business card right here, which is very nice. And we're gonna see all these models, and here they come. So I'm excited for these two assets as well. We're gonna start here with the NG models 1/400 scale Delta Airlines Boeing 737-800 with split scimitars. Super excited to have a regular livery Delta 738 in my collection. It should be a very nice asset. And probably my favorite one is coming here. And that is the United Airlines Airbus A321neo by NG Models. Another perfect asset from my United Airlines collection, and yeah, really excited to have the Airbus A321neo. So, I guess that's it for all the West Coast boxes, so I'm just gonna put them aside like so. And yeah, so here are all the models from the West Coast Diecast batch, and I'm very excited to have them in my collection. More in particular, my Delta and United collection, but overall, these models are looking very fantastic. So with that being said, gonna go over these models one by one, and we're gonna get into the unboxing. And here are all the 4 models I got from West Coast Diecast. Looking absolutely very nice. They're all engine models. Majority of them are 737s, but I got this United A321neo right here, so I'm beyond excited to unbox them. I think what we're gonna start with first is this batch right here, so that'll be the American 738 and the Delta SkyTeam. So I think I want to start off with the American 738 first, because I think that's like an older release, but yet again, I got the SkyTeam, which is much older than that. But since the American 738 is a model that I've been wanting to have for like a while, I think I do want to start off with this American first. So with that being said, let's begin with the NG Models American 738. Alright, so let's begin mass unboxing 12 with the NG Models 1/4 scale American Airlines Boeing 737-800 without any logos on the winglet. Super excited to now have this in my collection. I think I've been wanting to have this collection, well, this model plane in my American Airlines collection for a very, very long time. This model was released in November 2022 from that NG batch, and it's since then been sold out because that's a very popular model, and I think it was a re-release from the 2019 iteration, I think, without the Wi-Fi dome. So really excited to have this. It was so rare to find, but thankfully West Coast Diecast had this in their shelves, and therefore I got her at long last, so I'm really glad to have it. I also have the logos on the winglet one as well. But other than that, really excited to get into this. So you got the Boeing 737-800 styles right there, you got the CGI image of the aircraft, you got all the various like style of the boxes for the American Airlines livery. You got the engine models logo right there, 1/4 scale model collectible, a 1/4 scale collectible models diecast metal. You got the American Airlines logo and the aircraft registration, November 9003, November. Boeing licensed product as well. Here's one side, another side right there, and all the various sides. And then here's the back side, nothing pretty much, AG logo right there, warning hazards, social medias, and the item number, the small is 58127. So, really excited to have, really excited to have her in my collection, like I said. So, let's see her in person. So there she is right there, looking very fantastic. And do I have my CRP? Yes, I do. So this is in the August 2022 format. So here it is right there. And let's take her out. So, first model from Mass Unboxing 12 about to be unboxed. Let's see how, oh shoot, I guess we do have a missing antenna, but nothing really too special about it. It is what it is. And check the wings, that's good, looking good, look good. And she is perfectly intact, and there she is, my American 738 without any like logo. So very fortunate to finally have her in my collection. Man, really glad. Aviation LAS also got one from Airliners, so really fortunate to have one as well. And I think he got it from the Text and Airplane store, but yeah, it's a very nice model, and yeah, really nice to have this in my American Airlines collection. So I guess I'm good with American 738s for now. So as I set my camera down, there she is right there. Look at that beauty right there. The November 2022 release American 738, looking absolutely amazing. And here's the NG Models 1/400 scale American Airlines Boeing 737-800. Really nice model for the addition to my American Airlines collection, and overall, I'm really fortunate to have a regular American 738. Of course, without the logos and everything, but just a regular American plane, American 737. And I'm really good for my 737s for American Airlines. So with that being said, let's get started. So you got the cockpit windows right there, you got the nose shape of the aircraft looking very nice and spot on. Perfectly inaccurate nose shape. You got the radome dome right there, nose landing gear and nose landing gear door containing like 738 and then part of the ship number. You got the L1 boarding door right there, one world titles. You got the American Airlines title right there as well. You got your bottom antenna, and yeah, the logo as well. Yeah. And then moving on to the middle section, you got your CMFEV 56-7B engines right there. You got your emergency exit wing indicators right there. You got your main landing gear, and this is where the top antenna was supposed to be, but yet again, when I unboxed it, it was missing. I also tried looking at the cradle and the box. It wasn't there as well. But for a model that's so rare to find, and like at that point, I can't find any other American 78s at other retailers. It is what it is, and I can't really complain too much. I had some other models that have missing antennas, but I'll still pass. I'll like pass on that. And here's your blend-in winglet right there. As you can see, no logos or anything in the winglet. And here's the other winglet right there, looking very nice. And here's your Wi-Fi dome. So this is like the upgrade to the 2019 iteration. There was no Wi-Fi dome, I think, but thankfully they added a Wi-Fi dome here. Moving on to the wing section, let me just zoom it out. So here's the wing section of the plane. You got your emergency exit indicators right there. You got your flap jack fairings, coastal fuel frost details, flap details, slat details, and your spoiler details as well. And then moving on to the back area of the plane, let me just zoom in like this. You got your back antenna right there. You got the US flag, and then you got the aircraft registration, November 9003, November, and a little bit part of the ship number right there. You got your L2 door. And then moving on to the empennage area, you got the APU and horizontal stabilizers, and the American Airlines tail, if I could try to like zoom it out. There it is. So here is the American Airlines tail, which I think Edgy Models did a wonderful job on representing the American tail. Moving on to the front section, looking very nice. If I could try to like focus on the CFM engines, there it is. So here are some CFM engine details on the fan blades. Looking very nice, and very nice for a 1-400 model. Moving on to the starboard section of the aircraft, you got your R doors as well. Here's your forward cargo bin, which is located right there. And in the back area, here's your aft cargo bin right there. Moving on to a top section of the aircraft, so let me just set her like this. So here's the top section of the aircraft, looking very nice. Of course, with some nice detailing like this red beacon light. Moving on to the bottom, no stand hole, which is reasonable. But I do like the cutouts on the main landing gear. I like where the main landing gear should be. You also got your dual antennas as well. Moving on to the front section of the aircraft, so here's the front section. Also looking very nice as well. And here is the back section of the plane. So yeah, I'm really glad to have an American 78 regular livery this time in my collection. Of course, once again, I do have the one, American 78 with the logos on the winglet, excuse me. Blech. But other than that, it's a nice addition to my American Airlines fleet, and I'm just really glad to have it. It's been one model I've been wanting to have in my collection for a very long time. Of course, I kind of like hold it off because of budgeting, but I'm glad to have her in my collection at long last, like I said. And once again, another perfect addition to my American Airlines collection. The next model we'll be taking a look at is the NG Models 1/400 scale Delta Airlines Boeing 737-800 in the SkyTeam livery. Another nice addition to my Delta Airlines collection, and this is my first ever SkyTeam livery aircraft, so this is going to be very exciting. I've been wanting to have like a SkyTeam model in my collection for a long time, after I got a couple of Starlines and a One World, and the SkyTeam, it's finally here, so I'm just super excited to finally have this in my collection. And this model came out on August 2020, so we're going into like 4 years since this model was released, so really interesting stuff right there. So this is like one of my older models, this is like one of the oldest models I have in my collection. So I got the Boeing 737-800 tiles right there, you got the CGI image of the aircraft, you got the SkyTeam logo right there, NG Models logo right there, 1/400 scale, collectible models, diecast metal, you got the Delta Airlines logo right there, and then you got the Boeing licensed product right there, and then you got the aircraft registration, which is November 3758 Yankee. I did get to see this aircraft in Seattle Tacoma International Airport back in I think it was June 2022 is when I saw this aircraft, so I got a very nice low angle shot of the aircraft when she was taking off, and I was really impressed with the photo, I gotta say. Really glad to have a SkyTeam logo as a photo, and I also got to see a different registration of a Delta 738 in the SkyTeam livery. It was a different one, but this registration in particular is the one I saw in Seattle Tacoma International Airport on June 2022. Here's the sides right there, looking very nice. I like the gradient fade right there. Box is kind of like weared up, but it is what it is for a model that old. And here's the back side of the model right there. Well, the box, got the NG logo right there, warning hazards and all that, social media pages, and the item number of this model is 58071. And let's get into the unboxing. Well, this one has like very bad wear, as you can see. Pretty much this side is literally about to rip off. But hopefully the model is intact though, so we'll just have to wait and see. No, what is that? No, what is that? Oh yeah, this card right here. There's no card like this for this model right here because it's a very old model. So, yes, they did put this in they had tissue And there she is. Wow. Looking very nice. Let me take her out. Hopefully the model is intact. Just gotta make sure I check everything. Ooh, wow. Check the wings. Horizontal stabilizers. Hopefully that's good. Tail. And there she is. Looking very nice right here. Let me set it up close. Wow. Wonderful job here by NG Models in 2020. Let me just set her down. And yeah, once again, a SkyTeam model. I've been wanting to have a SkyTeam aircraft in my collection for a very long time, and I'm really fortunate to have it for this Delta 737-800. Look at her right there, looking very nice. Wow. Perfect effort right here from NG Models right here, and I'm really fortunate of their efforts while making good molds like this 738, for example. Wow. Very nice job, NG. And here's the NG Models 1/400 scale Delta Airlines Boeing 737-800 in the SkyTeam livery. Looking absolutely very wonderful from NG Models on their August 2020 releases. And overall, I'm really impressed with this model right here. And once again, they did a wonderful job on this model in particular. So let's get started. So you got the cockpit windows right there, you got the nose shape of the aircraft, of course, very accurate. You got the radome, you got some P2 details, you got the ship number, you got the nose landing gear door as well. Of course, in the nose landing gear door. The ship number is in the nose landing gear door. You got your L1 boarding door right there. I'm quite fascinated that there's like gloss on this model right here. So I think they're trying to represent the color of the SkyTeam livery, and I think NG Models did a fantastic job on doing so. So you can see you got like the gloss right there. It almost looks the color looks very nice. It's nearly realistic to like the color on the SkyTeam livery that I see. So very wonderful job, NG. You got the SkyTeam tiles right there and the Delta Airlines tiles right there. You got your CFM56-7B engines right there. Here's your first Wi-Fi dome. So there's actually 2 Wi-Fi domes, which is very cool. So there's your first Wi-Fi dome right there. You got your bottom antenna right there. You also got your top antenna. Moving on to the middle, there's your second Wi-Fi dome as well. There's your emergency exit doors right there. The wing doors right there. Here's your main landing gear, and then you got the blended winglet looking very nice. And as well, very proportional in size as well. Moving on to some wing detail. So it's like, what am I saying? Ugh. Okay, wing detail. So here's the emergency exit indicators right there. Cold silk field frost, slat details, pylon details, flap details, spoiler details from flight and ground. And of course, I think I already mentioned flap check fairings already, but there they are. Moving on to the back area of the plane, you got the SkyTeam logo right there, the symbol right there. So this is the SkyTeam symbol right there. You got your US flag as well, and then the aircraft registration, November 3758 Yankee. And here's the L2 door right there. Moving on to the empennage area, you got the APU right there, and the horizontal stabilizers, and the SkyTeam logo on the tail right there, and part of the ship number right there. So very nice job, NG, on the printing of the SkyTeam logo. Here's the front section of the aircraft, looking very nice as well. Let me focus on some engine details. So here are your engine details, looking very fantastic as well. And yeah, they look very nice, and NG still did a great job on representing that. Moving on to the starboard section, of course you got your R doors. Here's your forward cargo bin right there. And then moving on to the back, you got your aft cargo bin right there. Moving on to a top view of the aircraft, so here's the top view of the aircraft. Love the details as well. Beacon light, and then you got the black stuff. Still don't know what those are, but there they are. Moving on to the bottom section of the plane, you got all the various details right there. I also like as well the cutted area where the landing gear should be. You got your dual antennas as well. There they are. And I do like on how the air intakes are molded into the model as well. So very excellent job from NG on the details. Here's the front section of the aircraft, looking very fantastic. And then moving on to the back, let me just position her. Okay, so here's the back section of the plane right there. So overall, I'm really fortunate to now have a SkyTeam model in my collection. And I'm really glad to start it off with this Delta 738 from NG. This is a very rare model, and it's very hard to find. So if ever your retail has this model on sale, you should probably get it. It's a very nice model, and yeah, the 2020 iteration of this model looks very nice. I hope NG can do like a re-release, one with blended, or hopefully one with splits, because I've seen a Delta 738 with split Scimitars in the SkyTeam liveries. I think I may have saw that on Jet photos, but regardless enough, this is a nice addition to my Delta Airlines collection, and I'm really glad to have her. And yeah, we have another Delta 737-800 that I'll be unboxing, so why don't we get into that? Alright, so now we're gonna move on to my second West Coast diecast order, and we're gonna start things off with the NG models 1/400 scale Delta Airlines Boeing 737-800 with split scimitars. Super excited to have this model in my collection, another nice addition to my Delta fleet, and this is my first quote-unquote Delta 737-800 in the regular livery. Yeah, I also do have the World Champion Brave sticker, however that's kind of like a cheat stamp, but it's not really like a regular livery Delta 738. But I'm really glad to have this for my collection, and a nice representation for my Delta 737 fleet in general. So I'm really glad to have her in my collection. So you got the Boeing 737-800 tiles right there, you got the CGI image of the aircraft, you got a very nice gold geometric pattern right here. Very nice. I'm guessing this may represent their check-in counters because I did see their check-in counters that has a similar style like this. So it's really cool to see right there. Once again, it's all painted in gold. You got the Delta Airlines widget logo right there. You got the NG Models logo, 1/400 scale collectible models, diecast metal. You got the Delta Airlines logo, Boeing licensed product. And the item number of this model is not November. Oh, what am I? Oh yeah, the registration. That's what I meant to say. So the registration of this aircraft is November 374 Delta Alpha, which was the first aircraft to feature split scimitars on the Delta 737-800. I did get to see one in Sacramento International Airport back in January 2024. Unfortunately, it was not this registration, but rather a different one. But hopefully I can see this registration soon. But other than that, I'm really glad to see a Delta 738 with splits in the first place. So I got one side right here, so this is one side, here's another side, and it's kind of like the same thing as like at this point, so, but there's like a different style on the top, so as you can see. And here's the back section of the box. Of course, everything is pretty much the same. You got the NG logo right there, you got their social media pages right there, and then you got your warning hazards as well, and the item number of this model is 58218. So let's get unboxing to this, shall we? So really glad to have a Delta 738 regular livery in my collection, and hopefully NG can do a re-release of the one with blended winglets. So hopefully that's in the works, but we'll just have to wait and see. As we take out the box, take out the cradle in this case, there she is right there, looking very fantastic. And here's my CRP from NG. This is in the August 2023 format, and of course this side has like a brownish color, which I don't know why it's like that. But other than that, I'm just super excited to have her in my collection, and this came out on NG's December 2023 releases, so really nice to have this unit in my collection. So as I take her out, very nice model right here. Let me see if the wings are intact. So the wings are good, looking good. Horizontal stabilizers, what about that? And she is intact, so here she is, Delta 738 with split scimitars. It does look very, I would say, interesting, but I've seen some 738s with split scimitars already, but I think I've just gotten used to seeing Delta 738s with blended winglets. So it's almost like that. It's almost as if, like, I don't know. Can't really describe on a Delta 738 with split scimitars, but on that, it does look much better than the one with blended winglets, I'll say. So here she is, the Delta 738 with split scimitars, and overall, I think NG Models did a wonderful job on this model right here. And here's the NG Models 1/400 scale Delta Airlines Boeing 737-800 with split scimitars. A nice addition to my Delta Airlines collection, and I'm overall impressed on this model, and I'm really glad to have a regular livery Delta 737-800 for my Delta Airlines collection. So here she is right here. So we're going to start with the front, of course. You got the cockpit windows right there, you got the nose shape of the plane looking very nice and accurate, as I said her in front. Looking very nice. Moving on, you got the L1 boarding door, and then you got like the free Wi-Fi logo right there, free Wi-Fi logo right there, and yeah, all that jazz. You got the Delta SkyTeam logo right there, you got the ship number of the aircraft on the nose landing gear door, as well as the nose landing gear. You got your bottom antenna, you got the Delta Airlines logo as well. You got your windows, which are printed very nice. Moving on to the the middle section of the aircraft. Here's your CFM 56-7B engines right there. You got your emergency exit wing indicators right there, the emergency exit wing doors right there, top antenna, and your dual bottom antennas as well. You got your Wi-Fi dome, and here is the main landing gear as well. You got your split scimitar right there, which is basically the main difference of a Delta 737-800. So rather than just blended winglets, they're split scimitars, which I think the split scimitars on NG's mold, they're very nice. I think one of them appears to be a lot larger than this one, like the bottom scimitar appears to be larger than this one. in terms of like length, but I don't really care too much. But I think NG still did a great job on representing the split Scimitar well. Moving on to the wing section, so wing details. So you got your cold soak fuel frost right there. You got your emergency exit indicator right there. Flap track fairings, engine pylon, slat details. Flap fairing. Did I mention flaps? But you got the ground spoilers and flight spoilers right there. And then let me set her down like this. And then we move on to the back section of the aircraft right there. And just set her like this. So you got the back section. You also got your windows right there. You got your US flag and the aircraft registration, November 374 Delta Alpha. You got your L2 door. And then moving on to the empennage area of the aircraft, you got your APU as well as the tail skid protector right there. And then you also got your horizontal stabilizers as well, and your elevator trim, and the Delta Airlines upward and onward widget tail. Let me just focus it. So here she is right there, very well printed. And there's the ship number at the very top of the tail right there, looking very nice. And then moving on to the middle section of the plane, let me focus it again. Let me make sure I get into the details of the engine. So here's some fan blade details right there. Very nice for an NG 737-800 mold in 1/400 scale. And of course you got all the landing gears, and the cockpit windows also is very printed very nicely. And then moving on to the starboard section of the aircraft, of course you got your R doors right there. Here's your forward cargo bin right there. And then moving on to the aft area, your aft cargo bin is right there. And now we move on to a top view of this aircraft. So here's the top view of the aircraft, looking very fantastic. Of course with various details, don't need to explain too much, but it looks very nice. The Wi-Fi dome of course. And then moving on to the bottom section of the plane, you got your Delta Airlines logo on the belly. Let me just set her like this. So here's the Delta Airlines logo right there. You got your stand hole, well no stand holes in this case. Of course a cutout of the landing gear holes. And can't hardly see the air intakes, but they are molded into the model, which is very fantastic. And then you should see like a 737-800 tiles at the very front of the nose. Moving on to the front section. So here's the front section, as I mentioned this time, but it's gonna be like holding like this. Very nice. And as I previously mentioned, perfectly level cockpit windows. And then moving on, oops, kind of feels shaky. But here is the back section of the aircraft right there. So overall, another nice addition to my Delta Airlines along with that SkyTeam. And yeah, I'm eager to see if NJ can do a re-release of a 738 with blendeds, or maybe like, I don't know. But other than that, really glad to have this in my collection, and it's overall perfect for my Delta Airlines collection. The 737-800, another nice addition, so I'm really fortunate to have her in my DAL fleet, and I'm eager to represent this in my KRVL airport updates in the future. So yeah, that is the Delta 737-800. We got one final model to take a look at from the West Coast Diecast order, and I'm really excited for this one, as we're going to be taking a look at an Airbus now. So without being said, let's move on to the last model from that West Coast batch. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is none other than the NG Models 1/400 scale United Airlines Airbus A321neo. Man, I'm super excited to add this to my collection. Another narrow body to my United Airlines fleet. And the A321neo, I'm just really excited to have this. They've been flying, I think they mainly fly from O'Hare to like Phoenix Sky Harbor. And maybe, I think there might be also a flight from Houston as well. But haven't seen the A321neos at SFO yet, but I'm excited to see them if ever they come. So once again, a nice addition to my narrow body United Airlines collection, and I'm really excited for this model right here. I think this came out in November 2023, so yeah, really glad to have her in my collection. So you got the Airbus A321neo tiles right there. You got the CGI image of the aircraft. You got the connecting people uniting the world tiles right there. You got the beautiful box art representing United's evil blue livery. You got all like the various blue shades right there. You got the NG Models logo, which I do like. There's like a border in between them, so very nice addition to this box art. You got 1/400 scale collectible models, Diecast metal. You got the United tiles, and you got the aircraft registration, November 44501, which is United Airlines' first Airbus A321neo, and this is the aircraft right here. Moving on to this side, so you got one side right there, United tiles right there, and then you got other sides, some other sides right there. And then you got the back area of the box, you got the engine logo, you got the connecting people United world tiles once again, warning hazards, and there's their social media pages right there. And the item number of this model is 13102. So here we go! It's time for me to unbox the United A321neo. So once again, another nice addition. I do have a United Airbus already, which is that A319. So I'm really excited to have the A321neo as a nice addition to that. I hope they can release an A320 Evo Blue or Continental Globe in the future, but we'll just have to wait and see. But there she is right there. Wow, looking very beautiful. I do have my CRP as well. This is in the August 2023 format, so it's pretty much the same. And here we go. Let's unbox her. Oh man, I'm really excited. So here she is, A321neo for United Airlines. Another nice addition to my UAL fleet. Oh wow, man, look at that beauty. Let me check the wings. Wings are good. Hang on, let me double check. Okay, just making sure. Horizontal stabilizers, let's see. And a tail. Okay, I'm just making sure. Tail. Man, what a beauty she is right here, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Man, what a beautiful model. Let me set her up close. That is just a unit right there. A nice addition to my United collection and another United Airbus. And, oh man, is it me or like the landing gear kind of appears crooked? Kind of feels like it appears crooked, but it's not really badly crooked at least, so that's a good thing. But other than that, look at this beauty right here, the United A321neo. Wow, that is just some majestic airplane right there for United's fleet. So what a beautiful model from NG Models, and overall I'm really fortunate to have her in my collection. And here's the NG Models 1/400 scale United Airlines Airbus A321neo in the Evo Blue or Blue Evolution livery. Wow, what a model right here from NG Models. I'm really fortunate to finally have her in my collection, and overall, like I said, it's an excellent addition to my United Airlines narrow body fleet. So let's get started with the review. So you got the cockpit windows right there, you got the nose shape of the aircraft, very accurately represented, or what am I saying? Very accurate to the real life counterparts. So you got the radome right there, pitot tube details, you got the connecting people uniting the world tiles, you got your Star Alliance logo and your L1 boarding door along with your top antenna and the nose landing gear and the nose landing gear door as well. You got the blue swoop, and then you got the gray underbelly right there. Moving on to this section of the plane, you got the big blue United billboard tiles right there. And then you got your emergency exit indicators right there for the doors, the emergency exit doors. And then moving on to the middle, you got your main landing gear as well. And then you got the engines, which are Pratt & Whitney. I think these are Pratt & Whitney engines from what I'm guessing. Moving on to like over here, you got your sharklets right there, looking very nice. Moving on to some wing details. So let me just zoom in like this, zoom out in this case. So you got your emergency exit light indicators, you got your flap track fairings, you got your pylon details, slat details, flight spoiler details, and flap details right there. Moving on to the back area of the airplane. Here it is. So here's the back area. You got your L2 door right there, or the emergency exit door. This is not a door plug. And then there's your back antennas right there, and your Wi-Fi dome, and then your bottom antenna as well. And then there's your L3 door, and then you got the registration, November 44501, and the US flag. And then moving on, you got the shipping number, the ship number. You got your empennage area of the aircraft. You got your APU and horizontal stabilizers, along with the elevator trim marker. And the beautiful United Airlines Evo Blue tail. That is just a beautiful tail right there. What a beautiful tail for United Airlines. Here's some fan details. I love the fan details on this. I love the fan details on this model. They're very nice. And yeah, very nice and accurate for the NG Neo mold. Here's the front cockpit windows as well. And then moving on to the starboard section, you got your R doors, of course. You got your forward cargo bin as well. And then moving on to the aft area, you got your aft cargo bin and the bulk compartment right there. Moving on to a top view of this aircraft, so let me just position her. So here's the top view of the aircraft, of course with the various details and all that, like this red beacon light. Moving on to the bottom section of the plane, you got your air intakes right there. I don't think they're molded in, but it is. Oh, maybe these are the air intakes and these can be the air outlets. But you got your stand hole right there, of course with another good details right there. Moving on to the front section of the plane, so here's the front section, looking very nice. And then moving on to the back section, here it is. So overall, a nice pivotal asset from my United Airlines collection, and I think NG did a wonderful job on doing this United A321neo, and it looks so fantastic. And yeah, I think I might use this model in some routes. I think their A321neo flies to like O'Hare, and they have the cities that are listed. So San Francisco is one of them, Phoenix Sky Harbor as well, Las Vegas Harry Reid, George Bush Airport, and some other airports. Maybe MCO is also added. So yeah, that's where the United A321neo flies. So the A321neo, oh yeah, the A321neo flies to SFO. Will be starting to fly to SFO somewhere in late May to early June, so I'm eager to see if I can try spotting on those days so I can spot this aircraft. So yeah, once again, another nice model from NG. So that's it for my West Coast diecast units. Let's line them all up and we're gonna proceed to the next portion. And here are all the models that I unboxed on Section 1 of Mass Unboxing 12. I think I got a nice assortment of models. I pretty much got all like the models from the big three airlines of the US. So of course that being American, Delta, and United. So we're gonna start at the very top left with the American Airlines 737-800. This is the November 2022 release. A nice model from NG, and I'm really glad to have this after like filling it for like a year, and then yeah, pretty much a year until I finally got it from early 2024. So I'm really glad to have that. Next up is the Delta 737-800 in the SkyTeam livery. A very old model in my collection, and I'm really fortunate to have a SkyTeam model in my collection, or in this case a model with a SkyTeam livery. Next up at the very middle we have the United Airlines Airbus A321neo. I'm really glad to have this beauty in my collection. They might be flying to SFO somewhere in late May and late June, so I'm really excited to hopefully catch that. And at the very back right there at the right, you have the Delta 737-800 wood split Scimitars. Another nice model from NG. From I think it was December 2022, like December 2023 is when they released that model. So yeah, overall these models are very nice in my collection, and I'm really fortunate to have them for pretty much all the big three airlines, especially for my United and Delta collection. So yeah, really glad to have them. So that's it for Section 1. Now let's move on to Section 2. And welcome to Section 2 of Mass Unboxing 12. We got 2 more boxes that I'm going to be unboxing for today. And this is like a couple of months later, so I think I recorded like the previous one, like Section 1, somewhere around like quarter 1 of 2024. This is currently like quarter 2 of 2024. We're kind of like approaching the halfway mark of 2024 as of this recording, but just super excited to have these models in my collection, and these are 4 additional models that I'm super excited to have, and these all came from JetCollector. So I got the first one on top and the second one on bottom. These are like individual orders I did. I think I ordered them way back in like January of this year, but other than that, these are very, like, not saying well critical, but some models are critical for my collection, but I'm just super excited to unbox these models for you guys. So with that being said, we're not gonna waste further time, and we're just gonna get started with Section 2 of Mass Unboxing 12. We're gonna get started with the first JetCollector box, which will be the one on top. So let's get started with the top box first. Alrighty, and let's get started with the first box from JetCollector. So I think I ordered this way back in like early January of this year, so kind of like around that January 7th or like 6th or something. But I did order these models, and these are NG models planes. They're all NG models in JetCollector boxes, so they're all NG models. So we're kind of like finishing off with NG models right here. So we're gonna get started with the unboxing. So let's get started by cutting all these like tape. And yeah, now these models came from like these late releases from NG models in 2023. I think one of them are individual releases. So one came from October 2023 and one came from November 2023. And I'm just super excited to have them because I think these should be very cool for my collection. And overall, I'm just super excited to have them. So as I can see the receipt, looking good. And let's get started by taking out all the models in this box. So let's get started. So as I take out all these packing paper, I don't want to like, here I'll just like do this, kind of like put them on the side. Yeah, I don't think I would like to do that. I don't even know, but yeah, kind of like digging my hand under these. So I feel a model coming out. So oh crap. Well, that's what happens when you like dig a little too much and then all these packing peanuts decide to spill out. So here we go. We're gonna start things off with the NG models 1/400 scale Delta Airlines Airbus A320. Super excited to now have a Delta baby bus, well not really baby bus, super excited to have a Delta Airbus A320 family in my collection. Well, I already have the A321 already, but I'm really glad to have an A320, so that's really a nice addition to my Delta Airlines fleet. And as I dig more, down from the bottom, we have the Delta Airlines, as I pull it out, Airbus A319 from the October 2023 releases. Another nice addition to my Delta Airlines model collection. And yeah, I guess my United A319 is not alone since I already have the Spirit and this Delta A319. So really be unfortunate to have both of these models in my collection, and overall they're just gonna be nice additions to my Delta Airlines fleet. So I'm really excited to have them for my collection, and I think they're gonna be really amazing for, once again, my Delta collection and my overall Airbus collection in general. And here are my two Delta Airbus planes from NG models. We have the A319 and the A320, both well released in the quarter 3 of 2023. So the A319 got released in October 2023, and the A320 got released from November 2023. So really glad to have these in my collection. Once again, as I said, these are perfect for my Delta Airlines collection. I've been wanting to have like an A319 and A320 in my collection for a very long time, and I'm just super excited to have them in my collection. So overall, really excited to see what these had to offer, what the NG A320 and A319, well, first time having an A320, just A320ceo in general for my collection from NG. I'll go over the Delta A320 later. So I'm just super excited to get into these models for you guys. So I think I want to start off with the A319 since that came out first, and then I'll transition into the A320 next. So with that being said, let's get started with the Delta A319. Alright, and let's get started with the NG models 1/400 scale Delta Airlines Airbus A319. Really excited to have another A319 in my collection, and this is my second Airbus A319 from NG models, since I already have the Spirit A319 in my collection already, so really excited to have it. So technically I now have 3 Airbus A319s in my collection. So my United A319 is not alone, so I have the United A319 from the February 2020 release from Gemini Jets. I then have the Spirit A319, I think it was in that same release set, I think. And then this Delta A319 is coming into my collection. I'm guessing like the Spirit A319, or maybe it was November 2023 is when that Spirit A319 was announced. But I'm guessing, not really quite sure. I think maybe the Spirit A319 was from the November 2023 release set. I'm guessing, or maybe it was from the October, but I'm not really quite sure. But other than that, we're really excited to have my second A319 from NG models. So you got the Airbus A319 tiles right there, you got the CGI image of the aircraft, you got a very nice box art with the Delta widgets, and then you got some kind of like geometric shapes, which I'm thinking they're like I think I talked about this before, but they're representing like the check-in counters or like the gate counters for the Delta Airlines gate, like boarding gates right there. So really cool that NG was able to replicate that on this box. You got the NG models logo right there, 1/400 scale collectible models, Diecast Mel. You got the Delta Airlines logo and the aircraft registration, which is November 301, November Bravo. I did not see this exact aircraft in real life. However, the second iteration Delta A319 NG did back in like, I'm guessing April 2024. I did see that exact aircraft, and I think it was November 371, November Bravo is what NG did for that second A319. From Delta Airlines, of course. Here's one side right here, so here's one side. Here's the side right there. Well, this is the one side of the right, and then this is the bottom side. Anyway, so here we have the top side. Here's the west side, like the left side. And here's the back side of the box. Nothing really too special, it's just the same thing. You got your NG logo right there. You got the warning hazards right there and their social media pages. And the item number of this model is 490026. So, yeah, I'm really excited to have my second A319, well, from NG models, and my third A319 in general. So, as I open the box, and I think these should be perfect if ever, like, yeah, perfect, because of course I want to build up my Delta Airlines fleet, but they've been flying these to Sacramento during the summer, and maybe sometimes during the winter, but other than that, I think it's majority of the times they would fly these A319s to Sacramento along with the A320, so at least I get to have a model one. Now, I'm not really quite sure what I'm going to do with this model since NG released the second A319, but other than that, here she is right there, and she looks absolutely fantastic. As I take out the cradle, well, I do have my CRP, so let me just like take care of that. It's in the August 2023 format, so here it is right there. And let's take her out, and hopefully she is intact. Oh man, wow, look at her right there. Okay, so I'm checking the wings right there, so the wings look good. I want to double check that wing. Okay, I'm just making sure that it's stable. What about the horizontal stabilizers? Okay, they're good. And the tail. And here she is. Wow, look at that. You got the dual antennas right there. Here, let me position it in the middle. So here she is, the Delta A319 from NG models. Really impressive work from NG right there. And overall, really love their Airbus A319 mold. It looks so fantastic. And yeah, no need to explain more. But I think NG models did a wonderful job with their Airbus A319 mold and all their A320s. I think it's much better than the Gemini. Don't get me wrong, I think the Gemini is still good, but I think NG really hits the mark right here. So great work NG models, and I'm glad she is intact. And here's the NG models 1/400 scale Delta Airlines Airbus A319. I think NG models did a wonderful job on this model, and overall, the A319 mold from NG looks very fantastic, and wonderful job NG on this Delta baby bus right here. So let's get started with the review. So we're gonna start at the very front, of course. So you got the cockpit windows right there, you got your SkyTeam logo, you got some pitot tube details, and then you got some stack port details right there, alongside with there. And then you got the nose shape of the aircraft, of course. It's way better than the Gemini, as you can see. I love on how rounded out the nose is, and overall, it almost looks as realistic as the real-life counterpart. You also got your radome right there, you got your nose gear and your nose gear door containing part of like the ship number, or probably that's the ship number of the aircraft. I think that's the ship number, so that's that. You got your top antenna and your L1 boarding door right there, and then you got the Delta Airlines tiles. Some say that the Delta Airlines titles are kind of like smaller on this model along with the A320, but I can't really complain too much. I think NG still did a great job on placing the Delta Airlines tiles right there. I think they did a great job on it. Here's your second antenna right there, there's your single emergency exit door right there, and here's your CFM56. I'm guessing these are Dash 5B engines, and I'm happy to say they're not Neo engines unlike the Gemini version. They're well proportional in size, and they have a lot of ground clearance, if I could try to run my pencil over. But yeah, great work NG models on getting the engines of the CFM engines on the Airbuses right. So love to see this effort right here. And overall, they did a great job on it. So that is so cool right there. Here's your Wi-Fi dome right there, along with your main landing gear. And then you also got your bottom antennas right there. Here is the fence wingtip of the aircraft right there. Moving on to some wing detail, let me zoom out. So here's some wing detail of the aircraft. So you got your emergency exits, light indicators right there. You got your coastal fuel frost details. You got all the various details from the ground spoilers, flight spoilers, ailerons, flapjack fairings, and slat and flap details right there. Kind of like typical for NG models to do that. Do all this like wing details. And then moving on to the back area of the aircraft, you got your US flag and the aircraft registration, November 301, November Bravo. And then you got your L2 door. This may also act as the L2 boarding door as well, just in case this aircraft is parked at not at a gate, but rather than a ramp. And then moving on to the empennage area of the aircraft, you got your APU and the horizontal stabilizers right there. And the Delta Airlines upward and onward tail, which I think NG models did a great job on the printing of the Delta Airlines tail right there on this aircraft. Moving on to the front section of the plane, as you can see, great work on the front section of the plane. The cockpit windows are well printed, I think they're straight and leveled, and then you also got some various details of the CFM engines right there, along with some like these fins on the engines. I'm not sure what these are, but I think these help with aerodynamic stability. And then moving on to the starboard section of the aircraft, of course everything is pretty much the same. You got your R doors right there, you also got your forward cargo bin right there, and the aft cargo bin is located right there. Moving on to a top view of the aircraft, so let me position her. So here's the top view of the aircraft. I think NG models did a great job on the design of adding the details of the top. So you got all your various details along with this red beacon light. On the bottom section, you got the Delta Airlines logo right there on the belly of the aircraft. Let me just position her to where you can see it. So here's the Delta Airlines logo on the belly. You got your stand hole along with some other details. You can also see the bottom antenna as well. Moving on to the front section of the plane. So here's the front section, so here's the front. Amazing ground flex on the wings right there. And then moving on to the back area, here is the back section of the aircraft right there. So overall, great work NG models on this Delta A319, and I'm really glad to have it in my collection. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing with this model, since the second iteration Delta A319, that was the exact aircraft I saw in real life, so I'm not really quite sure what I'm going to do with this, but it's likely that I'm going to be selling this to someone. Probably I don't even know, maybe I may have sold it to someone already as of this recording, but yeah, highly likely that I'll be selling this to somebody else, and then I'll just get the second iteration Delta A319 to fill in for this void, since I haven't seen this aircraft in real life. But if anything changes, then yeah, but maybe I might keep it, I'm not really quite sure. But other than that, I'm really glad to have an A319 in my collection, and yeah, really glad to have my third one in general. And yeah, looking forward to using this model in many of my airport updates, and I'm really glad that NG Models has made the Delta A319 after many requests. So really glad to see this model right here. But we're not done yet, as we got the A320 counterpart to follow that up. So with that being said, let's move on to the Delta A320. And the second Delta Airbus we're going to be looking at is the NG Models 1/400 scale Delta Airlines Airbus A320. Another nice addition to my Delta Airlines collection, and I'm really glad to have an A320 from Delta Airlines. And I think this is my first ever Delta A320 CO from NG Models. I think I have the American A320 from Gemini Jets from their November 2022 releases. So really glad to now have a NG Models Delta A320. Just like A320 in general. This is my second A320 from NG Models. The Spirit A320 Neo was my first one, but this is my first A320 CO from NG. So really glad to have this model in my collection, and it's going to be a nice asset for my Delta Airlines collection, just like the A319. So you got the Airbus A320 tiles right there, you got the CGI image of the aircraft right there. I think the geometric shapes on this box art does seem more lively, so you can see all the various geometric shapes, and then you got the Delta widgets right there. Of course, this is kind of like replicating their boarding counters, boarding counters on the gates right there. So really cool that NG was able to replicate that on the box. You got the NG logo right there, 1/400 scale collectible models like I smell. You got the Delta Airlines logo and the aircraft registration, which is November 320 Uniform Sierra. How ironic for a registration for this aircraft. But anyways, we're gonna move on to the side. So here's the bottom side of the aircraft. Here's your left side of the box right there. So you got the Delta Airlines logo with the white border. You got your top antenna, or this is the right. Yeah, this is the right. So here's the top the top side right there. You got the aircraft in this side right here. You also got the Delta Airlines logo on the left, which there's no white border, which I don't know why there's no white border, unlike here. But it would have been nice if they added the white border on the left side as well. And here's the box, like the back side of the box. You got the NG logo right there. You got the social media pages and your warning hazards. And the item number of this model is 15043. So I'm super excited to now have this in my collection. Once again, it's my first A320 seal from NG Models, and overall, I'm just excited to see what this Delta A320 from NG has to offer. Wow, look at her right there. Already looking good so far, so love to see some effort right here. Here's my CRP from August 2023, so there's that. And under that, just super excited to unbox this model and overall see what the NG Delta A320 is like. And there she is right there. Ooh, so pretty. Okay, wings are good. Okay, horizontal stabilizer should be good. What about the tail? Wow, look at her right there. So as I set her up close, here is the Delta A320. Love to see this effort right here. Once again, there's like great aerials on this model, and the CFM engines are well proportional in size. And overall, I'm really proud of their efforts from NG Models. They did a fantastic job on this model as well. So really glad to have my Delta A320 in my collection. And it's just a nice asset for my Delta fleet. Yeah, but it's a great model from NG Models. That's all I can say. Great work, NG. And here's the NG Models 1/400 scale Delta Airlines Airbus A320. Once again, similar to the A319, I'm really glad to have a Delta A320 in my collection. And overall, NG Models, great work on this model right here, and I'm really proud of their efforts once again. So, really glad to have an A320 CO from NG Models. Because like I know Gemini Jets has been making a lot of these A320s, these US registered A320s, but at least NG Models get to do some. So I'm really glad to have it. So you got the cockpit windows right there, of course, kind of like similar to the A319. And then you got your nose shape. Once again, I think they're much better. Yeah, not sure what's going on with the nose. I think, not really quite sure, but I still think NG Models did a great job. I think they still managed to get the nose shape of the aircraft right. You got your radome right there, you got your pitot tubes right there, and your stack ports right there. You got the SkyTeam logo along with the L1 boarding door right there. And then here's your nose landing gear and the nose landing gear door, which contains part of the ship number of the aircraft. Here's your top antenna, so your dual top antennas right there, looking very nice. You got your Delta Airlines logo right there. I think they also did a great job on putting the logo of the Delta Airlines logo right there. Here's all your I'm guessing these are like the Wi-Fi stuff you see when you board the plane, so I think that's what they're implicating right there. Moving on to the middle section of the aircraft, you got your dual emergency exit doors right there. Here's your CFM56-5B engines, which once again, they have excellent ground clearance and they have The engines are well proportional in like size. So as I like put the aircraft right there, you can see how perfect these engines are. So great work NG Malls on getting the engine size correct for the CFM 56-5Bs on the A320 families. Here's your bottom antenna right there. So here's that. Here's your main landing gear, and of course you got your fence wingtip, which I think NG Malls also did a great job on representing the A320's fence wingtip. Moving on to some wing details. So here's some wing details. So you got your emergency exit indicators right there. You got your CSFF areas right there. You got your slat details, engine pylons, flap details along with your engine pylons, ground spoilers, and flight spoilers. So those are your wings. And then moving on to the back area, let me zoom in again. So here's the back area of the aircraft. You got your Wi-Fi dome placed all the way at the very back area of the aft area of the aircraft, like very back of the aircraft. Here's your US flag right there, and then you got the aircraft registration, November 320 Uniform Sierra, and then you got your L2 door right there. And then moving on to the empennage of the aircraft, you got your APU and the horizontal stabilizers, and the Delta Airlines upward and onward tail, which once again, NG Malls did a great job on putting the logo, and then you also got your ship number right there. Moving on to the front section of the plane, similar to the A319, very well proportional in like the cockpit printing. So here's your cockpit windows. Well, when I look at the front, they're well printed on this aircraft right there. And then you also got some great fan blade details of the CFM engines. And then moving on to the starboard section of the aircraft, of course, everything's the same, R doors. And then you got your forward cargo bin right there, and your aft cargo bin is right there. Moving on to a top view of the aircraft, so let me position her on the top. So here's the top view of the aircraft, of course, with your various nice details along with this red beacon light. So that's one nice additional details right there. Moving on to the bottom section of the plane, you got your Delta Airlines logo, the Delta logo on the belly of the aircraft. I'm guessing this is like a rat turbine door, from judging like this like oval shaped gray piece. I'm thinking that's gotta be the rat turbine door. But you also got your stand hole right there, along with your bottom antenna right there. And then moving on to the front section of the plane. Here's the front section of the plane, similar to the A319. Amazing ground flex look of the wings. And then moving on to the back area of the aircraft. Here is the back area of the plane. So great work NG Malls on this Delta A320. And overall, really proud of their efforts on making these Airbuses. So really glad to have it. They also made the Spirit A320s, both with fence wingtips and sharklets, so I'm looking forward to hopefully get those in the future. But other than that, I'm really glad to have a Delta A320 with well proportional engines, antennas, and bottom antennas, and just like an amazing mold in general. I don't need to explain more, but the NG A320 mold looks absolutely fantastic, and it's just like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think the Gemini A320 from Delta Airlines, it's still good, but I think the NG version is just superior. So really glad to have it in my collection, and I'm just really proud of NG's efforts. So great work NG Malls on this model, and hopefully I can see them release a United A320 in the future, or an A319. Looking forward to get those models coming soon. So that's it for this portion of the JetCollector boxes. So why don't I line up all my Delta Airbuses, and we're gonna proceed on to the next box. So with that being said, let's move on to like the conclusion part for this section of the unboxing. So these two models from NG Malls are flat out amazing, and I think NG Malls does a superior job on their Airbus A320 family molds. And I'm really glad to have a Delta A319 and Delta A320 in my collection. Once again, I think I'm highly likely I'll be selling my Delta A319 first NG release to somebody, because I'm more favor on the second iteration of the Delta A319. But on that, these models still look absolutely fantastic, and once again, NG Malls quality, it looks absolutely superior. Well, I have not been getting some broken models, like I haven't seen any broken NG Malls planes on their recent releases, so really glad that their quality control has improved, so that's what I love to see. But other than that, these two models looks absolutely fantastic, and I'm looking forward to using these models in a future airport update. So yeah, that is it for this section of the JetCollector haul. Let's move on to my second JetCollector box. So with that being said, let's proceed to like the second box from JetCollector. Alright, and here's the last box from JetCollector and the final box from Massive Unboxing 12. And yeah, it's a big box, so what a way to end off Massive Unboxing 12 with this big box right here. So I did order this kind of like kind of like around late January or early February. And yeah, with JetCollector orders, they come in like really quick. So I got this within a couple of days, and I'm just super excited to have these models in my collection. One of them is an international airline that I'm super excited to add. So let's see what it is. So as I take out or just cut through the sides right here alongside the front. So yeah, JetCollector, I've been like purchasing a lot of models from them because like since they're based out of California in Grass Valley and they're just so close to me. So really nice to be ordering some models from there. Alright, so as I take out the flaps, well I already cut that off. I do have my receipt from JetCollector, so I'm not really going to show this since it shows a lot of my information. But yeah, just to make sure that everything is correct. Alright, so we got everything correct, so let's see what's inside this box. So as I take out all the packing peanuts, as I scroll through all the boxes, I feel the first model coming out, and that is the NG models 1/400 scale Alaska Airlines Boeing 737-800, in the Kwáani Salmon People livery. Super excited to now have this special livery in my collection, and overall I think it's going to be a very nice addition to the Alaska special livery lineup. And finally, our aircraft, the last aircraft for this mass unboxing. Once again, it is an international airline. And here we go. Oh man, yes. We have the NG models 1/400 scale Norse Atlantic Airways Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner. Super excited to finally have Norse in my collection. It's going to be a very nice asset to my international fleet, and overall, just super excited to add this international airline to my collection. So, as I kind of like position them. So that is it for all the boxes from JetCollector. So I'm just going to put this box aside, just kind of like drop it like so. And here they are. These are all the last two models from Mass Unboxing 12. They're going to be absolutely amazing, and I'm just super excited to unbox them. And here are the two models from that second JetCollector purchases. So I'm just super excited to have these models in my collection. Once again, it is the Alaska 738 in the Salmon People livery, and the Norse Atlantic Dreamliner. Not Norse Atlantic. Norse Atlantic Airways 787-9 Dreamliner. Norse Atlantic, or yeah, I kind of like that. But other than that, these models are going to be absolutely nice, and yeah, just super excited to add another international airline, which is Norse, and nice to have another Alaska Airlines special. So I do want to save Norse Atlantic Airways for last, so what I'm going to start with first is that Salmon People livery, since like that's kind of like a special livery and it's like a US domestic aircraft right there. So with that being said, I'm just going to get started with the Kwáani Salmon People livery NG Alaska 78. So with that being said, let's get into that aircraft. Okay, so let's begin with the NG models 1/400 scale Alaska Airlines Boeing 737-800 in the Kwáani Salmon People livery. A nice addition to my Alaska Airlines collection, and overall, really nice to add this aircraft in my collection. And this particular livery, I do want to talk about a story about this livery because, like, it's a very cool special livery from Alaska, and overall, it's a very nice livery in general from Alaska. Well, it's kind of controversial, but yeah, I think this livery does look very nice, so we're really glad to have this in my collection. So I got the Boeing 737-800 towels right there. You got the CGI image of the aircraft. You got the salmon right here, kind of like in a very interesting, like, digital art design, I'll say. So that is really impressive on how NG was able to replicate that on this box. You all got your various like blue colors and then like a red streak, like kind of like an international orange streak or something. So that's really cool. You got the Kwáani and the Salmon People, which that's what it means in like English. And then you got the NG Models logo right there. You got 1/400 scale collectible models, diecast metal, excuse me. And then you got the Kwáani. So I'll zoom this in so I can read this. Okay, so yeah, this is kind of like the description of the Salmon People. If I could try to make it. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna read this entire paragraph of some sort. So Kwáani, okay, rough start. So okay, let me get my composure back. Okay, so here we go. So Kwáani means Salmon People in Alaskan Tlingit, like something something, hang on, I gotta like look a little closer. Tlingit, I'm guessing that's how I pronounce it. So it's in the Tlingit language and refers to the spiritual link between the people who interact with the beloved salmon. It says saloon, so that's kind of like a printing mistake from NG. And yeah, it's not saloon, it's supposed to be salmon. And all of us who benefit from their stewardship of the environment. So really nice meaning of this special livery, of course. Now let me just like focus back on the, there we go. And then you got the Alaska logo right there, you got the Boeing licensed product, and then you got the aircraft registration, which is November 559er Alpha Sierra, and this was the exact registration that previously wore the Salmon 30 Salmon livery. So it was on this exact same registration. I'll say the Salmon 30 Salmon livery is more iconic than this one, but don't get me wrong, this is still a meaningful livery to Alaska Airlines, since it's like representing the Alaskan Airlines culture. So really nice that Alaska Airlines was able to do that with this special livery. And yeah, I have a story about this aircraft. So ever since it was painted into this livery, I've been wanting to catch it because it's just a eye-catching livery, I'll say. I kind of like was hoping it can go to Sacramento one day. However, it took like, I don't know, like ever since it was repainted, it took until January 2024 for this particular aircraft to arrive at Sacramento for the first time. And it arrived during the night, but yeah, it was a long time, but finally, at least this Salmon People livery finally visit SMF. Unfortunately, I wasn't there to catch its first arrival at SMF, but I was actually there at Seattle Tacoma International Airport back in December 2023 when I first saw this aircraft, and oh boy, it was a really nice catch. I got her on a very dark, cold winter evening in Seattle Tacoma, and yeah, the photo was absolutely amazing, and yeah, it's really glad that I finally get to see this livery. So, here's that picture you're seeing on your screen right now. Overall, once again, it was dark outside, but other than that, the shot was overall worth it. So I'm really glad to finally catch the Kwáani livery on this Alaska 738 and the former Salmon 30 Salmon livery. So you got your side right there. I think I had it focused. Okay, so let me just like do this. So here's the previous side, here's the top side, here's the other side, and then you got your back side of the box. As you can pretty much see, everything is pretty much the same. They somehow still got that saloon mistake tiles right there. I don't know what's the deal with NG Models to mistakenly put saloon in there. And then you got the NG Models logo right there. You got your social media pages right there, warning hazards, and the item number of this model is 58196. So I'm super excited to unbox this model once again. A really nice model from NG's, and I should expect a very nice model. So as I take her out, ooh man, that thing is amazing. Here's my CRP from NG. This is in the March 2023 format, so I'll just put that aside alongside with this box. And here we go. Salmon People coming out. Ooh, that is a very nice. Wow. Oh, sheesh. Look at this beauty right here. So, gotta make sure. Okay, wings are good. Horizontal stabilizers and the tail. Let's see. Landing gears. Man, that thing is a beauty right there. Let me just set her up close, or try to focus it on my camera. There she is. Wow, that thing is just an absolute beauty right here. Wow, great work, NG Models, on this. That is just like perfection right there. Well, not really 100% perfection, but there's some QC problems with this part with models or NG737, but I still think they did a wonderful job on this model right here. So, oh, hang on, I just gotta. So, yeah, that is the NG Kwáani for you. What a fantastic job from NG, and I'm really glad to have her in my collection. And here's the NG Models 1/400 scale Alaska Airlines Boeing 737-800 and the Kwáani Salmon People livery. Once again, this is a job well done from NG Models, and the color is really on point in this model. That is just like absolute effort from NG Models. So great work, NG, and I'm once again really glad to have this special livery in my collection. So let's get started with the front of the aircraft, of course. So you got your cockpit windows right there. You got your nose ship with the 737. You also got your pitot tubes right there and your radome right there. You also got your Kwáani Salmon People tiles right there. Then you got the nose landing gear. Not sure why the nose landing gear looks like that, but from what I'm looking, yeah, I don't really know. But hey, it is what it is. You also got the nose landing gear door with the ETOPS logo and 559er along with the 800 tiles right there. And then you got your L1 boarding door along with the One World titles. And then you got your Kwáani and the meaning of this special livery right there. And then moving on to this side, You got your first salmon right there, which I honestly really do like on how like the salmon is designed on this special. It's kind of like a modern art of the salmon, and kind of like mixed with like the culture in Alaska they have. So overall, it's really nice. It's kind of like almost like that. What kind of like artwork is this? Like I'm trying to like think of like it's kind of like a tribal like tribe artwork I can see, but it's really cool. Like this printed image of a salmon in this kind of like art style. That is just so cool right there. So yeah, very nice. And this was actually made by someone. So credit to like the artist of this special livery. You also got your bottom antenna right there along with your sag ports, and then you got your top antenna alongside with your emergency exit doors. You got your main landing gear right there along with the CFM 56-7B engines, which are definitely perfect in size and proportions. And then you got your engine exhaust right there. And then moving on to the wing section, so here's the wing. So as you can see, you got your various like cold soak fuel frost details, your emergency exit details, engine pylons, flap jack fairings, and your speed brakes, and then spoilers of course, slats and flaps and all that. And here's the split Scimitar winglet, which I think NG models also did a great job on the split Scimitar. And then you can also see a salmon logo right there. You can see the salmon on the winglet, which is, I think, that's also nice attention to like this special livery right here. And then moving on to the back area of the aircraft, let me zoom in once again. You got your Alaska Airlines tiles right there. And then, yeah, kind of interesting on how they put the Alaska Airlines tiles right there. I think that has to do with like this salmon right there, so really cool. And then moving on to the back area of the aircraft, you got your US flag and the aircraft registration, November 559er Alpha Sierra. There's your L2 door alongside with the second salmon right there, somewhere around the empennage. You also got the APU and horizontal stabilizers. And as I move into the tail, you can see the back area of the second salmon right there, which once again, it's in that very cool looking like modern art design of the salmon. So that's really cool on how this special livery features that. And yeah, a very nice special livery from Alaska Airlines overall. Here's the front section. So, not sure what's up with the main landing gear, but apparently like one of the rods are kind of like loose, so I'm afraid this nose landing gear might fall off at some point, but hey, I mean like, it's not all the best. But other than that, I still think this is a very nice art design, like a nice model in general. There's your 559er registration at the top of the cockpit windows alongside with your CFM engine details on the fan blades, which honestly they look very nice. And then moving on to the starboard section of the aircraft, so kind of like pretty much the same. You got your R doors, there's your forward cargo bin, and then moving on to the back area, you got your aft cargo bin right there. Moving on to a top view of the aircraft, so let me just position her. So here's the top view of the aircraft, all your various details on the top, so that's pretty nice for engine models. Forgot to mention about that Wi-Fi dome, but there's a Wi-Fi dome right there. Moving on to the bottom section of the aircraft, of course no stand hole, but what I do like about this model is the air intakes are molded in, so that's pretty cool on how they feature this. And yeah, but on that, what's also molded in is like the holes of the main land gear, so that's also nice attention to detail for this NG738. You also got your bottom antennas as well. Moving on to the front section of the aircraft, so let me just position her. So here's the front view of the aircraft, and then moving on to the back area, here is the back view of the plane. So overall, once again, a very nice model from NG Models, and overall, really glad to have it in my collection. So other than that, very nice job from NG Models, and yeah, no need to explain more. They did a wonderful job with this special, and yeah, really glad to have this in my collection after seeing her in real life. And yeah, this model came out in the August 2023 releases from NG Models, and yeah, honestly, in terms like, cause they also released Imua 1, but honestly, I would prefer Imua 1 over this livery, but don't get me wrong, this is still a great livery from Alaska, and they did a fantastic job on it. So, yeah, that is the NG Models Alaska Kwáani Salmon People livery on the 737-800. Now we're going to move on to the final model of this unboxing, which is going to be that Norse Dreamliner. So with that being said, super excited for that Norse Dreamliner, and let's get into that unboxing of that particular model. So, let's do it, everybody. And to cap off Mass Unboxing 12, we have the NG Models 1/400 scale North Atlantic Airways Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner. Super excited to finally have Norse in my collection. I've been wanting to have Norse for like a long time now, so she has finally arrived. So yeah, North Atlantic Airways, they are like I think they're like the upgraded version to like Norwegian, because like they also operate some 787 Dreamliners as well. So unfortunately, I think that airline, well, the wide body, like the long haul ones, they didn't last too long, so that's when Norse Atlantic Airways comes in. And yeah, that's like Norwegian Mark II. So yeah, that's Norse for you. But other than that, really excited to have it. And yeah, they did like a second release of this aircraft. So this is the second release. They did like the first release back in like April 2022, I think. So really glad to at least have the second version of this aircraft right here. So you got the Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner. You got the CGI image of the aircraft right there. You got the various like blue backgrounds alongside their symbol right there, which represents a long ship of a Viking ship right there. And yeah, as you can see, it's also present on like the tail as well, alongside kind of like somewhere around the fuselage part right there. You got the aircraft name, which I'm guessing, I'm not sure if I could try to like pronounce this name correctly, but if I could try to pronounce it, I think it's Xáat. I'm guessing. Yeah, it's kind of like a hard, but I'm not sure if I did pronounce that correctly though. You got your NG Models logo right there. You got the 1/4 scale collectible models, Diecast metal. You got the Norse flynorse.com tiles right there. So you got the Norse logo along with flynorse.com. You got the Boeing license product, pardon me. And then you got the aircraft registration, which is Golf Charlie Kilo Oscar Foxtrot, which just so happens that I did see this exact aircraft during its inaugural departure from San Francisco International Airport inbound for London Gatwick. So, real cool to see this particular registration on its inaugural departure back in July of 2023. So they started service from San Francisco back in July 2023. Unfortunately, that route has already ended, so Norse does no longer fly to San Francisco anymore. That ended somewhere around October 28th of 2023, so it didn't last like a year, which is unfortunate, but it's really cool to see this particular registration. I think the only closest city in California that Norse Atlantic flies to is LAX, since I think their LAX service is still going strong, but for now, I think they just terminated the SFO route, and hopefully we can see Norse Atlantic Airways back. And yeah, as I said, the registration, as you can see, it has the Gulf Dash. So this is actually the Norse Atlantic UK variant. There's also like the Norse Atlantic Airways, which is the Norwegian variant, and that had a different registration. So NG did the UK variant of Norse Atlantic Airways. So they do have a very interesting call sign though. So Norse Atlantic Airways, which is the Norwegian one, they have a call sign called Longship, and then for the UK variant, they have a call sign called Longboat. So that's really cool that each like call sign is different. So Longboat would be the UK variant, the Longship would be the Norwegian variant. So that's cool. Here's the side. This is the first side. This is the bottom side of the box. Here's like the right side with the norsefly.norse.com tiles. You got the top side right there, and the left side is pretty much the same. And here's your back of the box right there. So everything is pretty much the same at the back. You got their social media pages right there, which I'm not sure if they're really like well seen right there, because like the blue text, and yeah, the blue text and like the background is also blue too. You got the Boeing licensed product, so this is the Boeing licensed product. You got your warning hazard right there, and the item number of this model is 55111. So really nice to add another Dreamliner to my collection and another international airline. So super excited to get into this model. So with that being said, let's get into the unboxing. And yeah, hang on guys, I gotta like check on my Apple Watch real quick. But yeah, it's like something different. But on that, here we go. First Norse Atlantic Airways in my collection, and yeah, kind of like fine to have it. Not sure if I want to get another one though, but here she is right there. So what a beauty she is. And let's see if I have my CIP. I do, and this is in the August 2023 format. So here we go. Norse Atlantic Airways, welcome to my collection. And oop, kind of like had a bit of a tumble, but not too much of a tumble, but here she is. Okay, let me try getting her from the tail. Wow. Ooh, yes. Let me check the wings. She's pretty, I'll say. Hopefully she's not broken, so the wings are good. Hang on, let me double check. Okay, wings are good. What about the horizontal stabilizers? Come on, tail. Oh yeah, baby, wow, yes! Norse Atlantic Airways has arrived at my collection, and overall, they did a fantastic job on this model right here. So, great work, NG models on Norse Atlantic Airways. This should be a nice addition if I want to feature this aircraft in their London Gatwick routes, but they also have like the different registration, which I think they also operated within their Norwegian basis. So yeah, there it is. Norse Atlantic Airways, welcome to my collection, and what a way to cap off Mass Unboxing 12. And here's the engine models 1/400 scale Norse Atlantic Airways Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner. What a nice way to finish out Mass Unboxing 12 with this model right here, and overall I'm really glad to have Norse Atlantic Airways in my collection after several months of trying to get one. Unfortunately, one of the nose landing gear tires are missing on this model right here, so I kind of look around everywhere from the box. There was nothing, just absolutely nothing. So it ended up being like just no landing gear tires. So that's unfortunate for that one. It's on the left side. Luckily, I had a couple of spare parts, so I had to like cannibalize one of my tires on like the same size as like the 787, and I think that proved out to be perfect. So yeah, that's one way to like make sure that this model is like perfect. Just like go get like one of the spare parts and then yeah, just place it on the model itself. And yeah, it's perfect now. So yeah, that should be good right there. But other than that, should be a nice model for that London Gatwick route. So let's get started with the box. Come on now, what am I saying? Let's get started with the model review. There we go. So you got the cockpit windows right there, and then you got the nose shape of the aircraft. Once again, engine models did a phenomenal job on the nose shape of the 787. Here's your radome right there. You got the Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner titles, or 787-9 titles. You got some pitot tubes right there, and the nose landing gear, and the nose landing gear door containing part of the registration, Kilo Oscar Foxtrot, and then you got the aircraft name, which I think that says Redwood. So I think what the Redwood is referring to is like the redwood trees in California. So many of like Norse Atlantic's planes would name their planes after like national parks in the US. So here's Redwood right there, representing the Redwood National Park in California. Here's your L1 boarding door right there, alongside with your windows, which are printed in perfectly, which are very nice. And here's some static ports right there. You got some extra stuff. I think that's like a red area, kind of like emergency purposes only. Moving on to this section of the aircraft, you got your Norse tiles right there, your big Norse tiles, and then you also got flynorse.com right there. Here's your L2 boarding door. Here's your top antenna alongside with a great Wi-Fi dome, which is quite interesting that this aircraft has a great Wi-Fi dome. There's your wing, which I do like the feature of this like landing light. So that's great attention to detail. Moving on to the middle area of the aircraft, you got your Rolls-Royce Trent 1000 engine. You can tell because it has a Rolls-Royce logo right there. I love the chevron tooth designs on this aircraft alongside with the engine exhaust. You got your main landing gear right there and your windows once again on this side, kind of like somewhere on premium economy, I suppose. So that's really nice. On the engines, they also have the flynorse.com tile. So that's on the inner side of the engine right there. As I put the aircraft on its wing view, so here's the wing view right there. You also got your, you got your various like cold silk fuel frost details, pylon details, slat flap details, spoiler details, and your flap track fairings. Here's the raked wingtip of the aircraft. Once again, engine models did a phenomenal job on the raked wingtip of the 787. And as you can see here, if I could try like zooming in, I hope I don't see any like tires coming off of this aircraft. But as you can see, it does have the Norse.com, like the Norse and the flynorse.com on the inner side of the engine. So that's really cool that this engine at least has some like detailing at least, or just like additional features. Moving on to the back area of the aircraft, so kind of like moving on to this section, you got your L3 door right there. And this is where like the livery starts, so as you can see, it has like a blue streak, like a sky blue streak right there, which creates the long ship of the Viking ship right there. So this is kind of like this side right there. Alongside with that, you got your blue right there, like really blue, kind of like just simply blue. And then you got like a sea blue, I think that's like a sea blue right there. So that's like a sea blue at the bottom, and then you got just a blue color at the very top. You also got your Dreamliner tiles right there, and then you got your L4 door. Alongside with that, you got your UK flag right there and your aircraft registration, Golf Charlie Kilo Oscar Foxtrot, and then you got your back antennas and your bottom antenna right there. Moving on to the empennage area of the aircraft, you got your APU and the horizontal stabilizers, and the Viking ship logo, which represents the Norse Atlantic logo right there, which I think they also did a fantastic job on the printing of the Viking ship. And then moving on to the not really middle section, but front section of the plane. So as you can see, you also got your various details on the Trent 1000 engine, which I do love to see from NG models. You also got your front, like the cockpit windows facing this side. As you can see, they're pretty much line, so that's really good. You also got your emergency exit hatch right there. And yeah, here's the landing gear. So this is the one that accidentally, this is the one that ended up being missing. So yeah, that's the extra landing gear tire that I ended up using on one of my other models right there. Let's say that. So really glad I get to improvise some of my older models for some cannibalize one of my older models in favor of like a new landing gear for this side. And then moving on to the starboard section of the aircraft. So here's your starboard section. Of course, you got your R doors, and of course, as I previously mentioned, that's the wheel that ended up having a missing tire. Yeah, that's like the new tire that's being installed there. You got your forward cargo bin right there. And then moving on to the aft area, you got your where's the aft cargo? Okay, the bulk area is somewhere on the port side, but you got your aft cargo bin right there. And moving on to a top view of the aircraft, so let me just position her. So here's the top view of the aircraft. Not much on detail since like most of the top view is all white. And then yeah, that's basically it. On the bottom section, you do have the flynorse.com tiles right there, alongside with a rat turbine door. And I also like how the air intakes are also molded in on this model as well. You also got your stand hole right there. And as I look in the wings, mainly the starboard wing, it has the Golf Charlie Kilo Oscar Foxtrot tiles right there. The registration that's being printed on the starboard wing. Moving on to the front section of the aircraft, as I try to position her, hopefully I don't hit the model on the table. So here's the front section of the aircraft right there, the front view of the plane. And then moving on to the back view. Here is the back view of the plane with some nice level wings on the 787's wings. So overall, this is a fantastic month from engine models, and yeah, nice way to cap off Mass Unboxing 12 with a new international airline and a new 787 to add to my 787 collection. So other than that, really great month from engine models, and yeah, finally get to have Norse Atlantic Airways in my collection. Although they suspended or terminated their SFO route from London Gatwick, at least I get to have one since I did see this exact registration during its inaugural departure back in July 2023. So really glad to have Norse in my collection, and yeah, perfect international airline right there. So that is it for this whole mass unboxing, but before I get into the conclusion, I want to show you guys all my 2 models I got from the second batch of JetCollector. So with that being said, let's line up my 2 models, and then we're going to conclude this video from there. Well, not really from there. We're going to conclude the video in the next video clip. So with that being said, let's line up my 2 models. And here are my 2 models that I got from that second JetCollector batch. To recap, I got the Kwáani Alaska 737-800 and the Norse Atlantic 787-9 Dreamliner. Both of these models are very nice for my collection, and overall I'm looking forward to hopefully feature these models in some of my airport updates or like a model review, if ever I do that. But other than that, these are great for my collection, and I'm really fortunate to finally have them. So, what an unboxing that is, ladies and gentlemen. So, really nice total amount of models, I'll say. So with that being said, I do want to line up all my models, so why don't we do that? So with that being said, let's get into the conclusion of this massive unboxing. So with that being said, let's get into the next clip. And here are all the models I got from mass unboxing number 12. As I count all the models, we got a total of 8 models in this unboxing, and overall, I think I got some good models that I got for this video. So, I got some good deals on these models, and yeah, perfect variety. So, I'll give you guys a rundown on what I got, so let me just zoom in. Not sure if I think the audio has changed, but yeah. So, we start here with this American Airlines Boeing 737-800, the November 2022 release. Really fortunate I finally have her in my collection. Next up, we have the Delta 737-800 with split Scimitars, another nice addition to my Delta Airlines fleet, and nice to have a regular livery Delta 738. Next up, we have another Delta 737-800, but this time it's in the SkyTeam livery in the August 2020 release, one of the oldest models I have in my, older models from that era of NG models right there, so really glad to acquire that in my first SkyTeam model. Next up, we have the Delta Airlines Airbus A320. Really nice to now have a Delta A320 in my collection, so should be useful if ever I do a route for Salt Lake City or something, or some other Delta Airlines hub. Next up, we have this Delta Airbus A319, also a nice addition, so really nice to have a Delta Baby Bus in my collection, and this is actually a different Delta A319. You should stay tuned for an upcoming mass unboxing to figure out why I got this other Delta A319 in the first place, but you're seeing this right now. This is actually a second iteration, so you should stay tuned on why I got that. Next up, we have the beautiful Alaska 737-8, Alaska Airlines Boeing 737-800 in the Kwáani livery. Another nice addition to my Alaska Special livery collection, and yeah, NG really did a fantastic job on this model. Next up, we have the United Airlines Airbus A321neo. Really nice to get an A321neo from United Airlines added to my collection, and yeah, I should be using that for the O'Hare route if ever I do like a KRVL to ORD route, and I'll utilize this aircraft. And finally, we have the beautiful Norse Atlantic Airways Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner. Really nice to now have Norse in my collection, and overall, really nice if ever I use that for my London Gatwick route, if ever I make like a fictional model airport at some point. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's mass unboxing. Yeah, another mass unboxing down. Of course, I haven't been filming much mass unboxings because of like a lot of things, but hopefully I can try to get the grind back on mass unboxings. An upcoming mass unboxing will be coming soon though. There's your sneak peek right there. And yeah, super excited for the next mass unboxing, which will be mass unboxing 13. And overall, super excited to see more mass unboxings coming to my channel as we progress through 2024. So there is mass unboxing 12 for you all. So that's it for today's video. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and turn on the post notification bell so you won't miss a video like this anytime soon. And if you want to see more of my model plane content and mass unboxings, then you can click on those playlists, and you can check out all my model plane content from unboxings, reviews, and a whole lot more, and my mass unboxing playlist as well, which I feature many of my mass unboxings from the past to now. So that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Anyways, good night.